New highs for the S&P, new highs for the NASDAQ. The Dow has retaken 50,000 yet again. NASDAQ's on pace for its 7th positive week in a row. It is the first time it's done that since October of 2024. Let's begin with the tech trade for obvious reasons. Nvidia, for obvious reasons, that new record high today. You did have that Reuters report. The U.S. has cleared the H200 chip sales to 10 firms. May not be entirely new, but we are learning names. And as Jensen Huang is in China, we're wondering what he might come back with. Are they going to be able to sell those chips there as he wants? The street remains optimistic. UBS has taken the price target to 275. Cantor goes to 350. So there is a lot of optimism for a stock that everybody here owns. You get the first shot at this because it's one of your largest positions. Yeah. It's so good to have you in the house. It doesn't happen that often, if ever. So we're so happy to have you. What should we make of what Nvidia is doing and what Jensen Huang could bring home on this trip?
Well, I mean, the most unusual thing is Nvidia didn't do anything for 6 months as the rest of the semiconductor trade, really catapulted to new highs. So over 6 months, remember, Nvidia hit $210 a share about 6.5 months ago, and it was flat over that period of time. Yeah. And so, as our largest holding, it's almost 20% of our overall portfolio. But it's actually been a drag from a performance perspective up until recently. On the March 30th low, I think it hit 170 or 172 bucks a share. And so the catch-up here really hasn't been about China at all, Scott. And by the way, China's de minimis at this point to Nvidia. They've announced $1 trillion over the course of the next 6 to 8 quarters of demand on Blackwells and now Vera Rubins. And so this is a little bit of icing on top of the cake to be able to sell their older H200s, to China. I don't think that's what's moving the stock. They're going to report earnings next week, and I think what's moving the stock is everybody's looking at the entire complex and saying the most important company globally in AI, the best company executing today in AI is Nvidia. Why is it trading at 14 or 15 times fully taxed GAAP earnings when the rest of the complex is trading much higher?
What's so crazy is this stock sat at 180 for 6 months. Yes. Anyone who wanted it could have had it.
For sure.
And it was at that price, the cheapest multiple on forward earnings you've been able to buy Nvidia since before ChatGPT. So it's just this astonishing thing where in plain sight, Amazon rallied, Alphabet rallied, AMD, Broadcom, one after another. They just took off, and this thing was just look at this. Is there another one of these that's hiding in plain sight as you look over your current holdings or stocks that you're not in? What do you think is another candidate that we're ignoring right now that has this type of potential?
I love it. I love it. We come on the set. It's like, what is the thing that will go up 40% over
and immediately?
Welcome to the market that we're in.
I mean, the fact of the matter is, I'm not smart enough, nor are most retail investors at home to pick it, that closely, right? The reason we've been in Nvidia is because we know they are the market leader. We know that they are the cheapest in the trade, and so we just had to assess. At some point in time, numbers would matter. The economic law of gravity here is that if they deliver the returns that we expect that they're going to deliver, then one of two things is going to happen. Either they'll buy back all their own shares because the market won't value them, or the market will buy them. And I think the market at this point in time is saying this doesn't make any sense. But if you said to me, Josh, Brad, what is the catalyst that finally got this thing moving? I couldn't tell you.
Yeah. Here's my question, though. As we sit here and talk about Nvidia being at all-time highs, I personally own the stock, so I have a vested interest in it going up and to the right. But as I look at a company like Cerebras getting ready to IPO, what they do is proposing to come for Nvidia's lunch, right? Like their approach to inference is completely different from what Nvidia does. It's completely different from the Vera Rubin cluster that fills the rack that we're supposed to get excited about this summer after we hear about what it's going to change and what demand for that looks like. So maybe that explains why the stock had such a hard time blowing past 180, and now we're seeing the excitement as the entire semis space has moved up. But realistically, after earnings, a little bit of air gets let out of that balloon because we have a chance to learn that even if it's not Cerebras, somebody like that is coming for those 80%
Sure,
margins.
but I would just say before Brad answers, I mean, Brad and Jensen Huang himself have been so bullish and optimistic about what inference is going to mean.
Sure.
2 years ago, you and Jensen were sitting on the podcast together talking about this very issue, how they both saw what this was going to mean. I want you to watch the clip and we can talk on the other side.
inference is about ready because of chain of reasoning.
Yeah.
Right? It's about
to go up by 1 billion times.
Right, by a million X, by a billion X.
That's right. That's the part that most people haven't completely internalized. This is that industry we were talking about, but this is the Industrial Revolution.
Right.
My take from that is that in an industrial revolution in industry, there's not going to be one winner, not one big winner. There are going to be many big winners, and this company's going to be right along there, right?
It's so extraordinary watching that. You know, Josh, you and I were just talking. Sometimes these things are hiding in plain sight.
Yeah.
Jensen told us, like, we knew inference time reasoning was going to change the game. We knew the world was moving to inference. He told you it was going to 1 billion X. And the reality is not many people listen. He went on to buy Grok for $20 billion. Cerebras is going to go public today. These are inference factories, purpose-built chips in order to deliver low latency inference to all the people in the world. And for the folks at home, right, here's the one thing to remember. There is no intelligence. There's no consumer ChatGPT. There's no enterprise intelligence. There's no Claude Code without the production of tokens, right? It's the production and consumption of tokens that is intelligence. And what Cerebras does such a good job at, Grok as well with Nvidia, is producing very low latency inference tokens. There is room for more than one winner, to your point, Scott. This idea that Nvidia was going to lose share, you're right, is the thing that capped Nvidia at $180. But I think the world woke up to the fact that notwithstanding Cerebras' success, notwithstanding Broadcom's success, notwithstanding the success of Trainium and TPU, NVIDIA was still going to sell everything.
There were 5 companies in the S&P 500 that specifically said on their conference calls this earnings season, they can't believe the cost of compute and tokens. Yeah. They are now, that is now becoming a material factor in the profitability of the enterprise users of AI and all of these products. Does a company like Cerebras or many companies like that, is what we're seeing the race to solve that problem so that the price of compute doesn't outrun our willingness to do more and more things with AI?
Right. Remember, in the early phases, 23 and 24, we were solving for pre-training of LLMs. That required a lot of flops, right? We weren't consuming a lot of inference. Now the models themselves to learn, they need to have an inference loop. Agents require inference, and ChatGPT exploded. So the world moved from flops to being able to solve what they call the memory wall, moving KB cache and moving these model weights around on a chip. And the way that Cerebras, remember, we invested in Cerebras 8 to 9 years ago. And the idea was a long shot, that they could do something nobody had ever done and put memory right on this wafer scale chip right next to the compute. They pulled it off, and the world moved to them. Now it really matters. They have an unlimited amount of demand for their product. So the challenge for NVIDIA today, the challenge for Cerebras is, can we find the power? Can we find the data centers to stand up all of this in order to support it? The one thing you heard on all those calls, Josh, whether it was Amazon or Google, we are compute constrained. Our revenues would be higher if we weren't compute constrained.
Right.
Anthropic's compute constrained, OpenAI's compute constrained. Cerebras will help solve part of that constraint.